What is up, little demons and demonettes? Welcome back to DEVILDEVYN360 News Nightly, a DEVILDEVYN360 original podcast. We are better than Fox and CBS, and everybody knows it. So before we get into the beef of today's episode, let's go over some channel updates and things that are going to be changing around here. First of all, we are going to be introducing a new character in the skits. He is Freaky's little helper, but he doesn't wear a clown mask. So, you'll have to see what his mask looks like when that skit comes out on Christmas Day. Another thing is, as soon as I can get my phone back, I will be uploading new Off-Road Outlaws RPs and stuff like that, so stay tuned for those. And let's get into the beef of today's episode, and let's start off with talking about Twitch. Because I've used Twitch a lot for my live streaming. Because, personally, it's been one of my favorite live streaming platforms. I've been watching live streams on there for years, and I've only been streaming on there for like months at a time. Sometimes I forget about it. I haven't streamed in a while on Twitch. In fact, I need to stream again, so I'll figure out something on my schedule and then stream on Twitch again. But otherwise, yeah, there's a lot happening with Twitch. They're constantly updating their rules and stuff, adding new features and doing stuff like that, but some of the rules are just ridiculous, man. And I like how Twitch has this no sexual content rule, yet you got all these female streamers doing like hot tub streams and stuff, and like wearing these skimpy bikinis. But oh, one accidental nip slip on an Amaranth stream and she's automatically banned. When there are other plenty good things you can be banning people for on Twitch. It's fucking weird. Like, why can't well, I'm not saying every hot tub streamer, but why can't at least most hot tub streamers be banned? And I mean the ones that are wearing, like, thong-like bikinis and showing off their asses and stuff purposefully on Twitch. Because Twitch doesn't give a shit about that. But one accidental fuck-up, like if your nipple pops out, or maybe you're walking around and your underwear fall down, and you're streaming, like, you're automatically banned for an accident like that, but these hot tub streamers can just continue doing what they're doing freely. It's like those predators over on Kick who are getting little girls on Omegle, nonetheless. Omi TV now, which is another popular site for perverts again. But otherwise, yeah, it's like fucking those perverted streamers on Kick that just are like trying to get these like 15-year-old girls to say they're 18, and then these 15-year-old girls flash them some boobie or maybe even a little, below the belt, and then it's like fucking these streamers have places in their Discord server where you could go look at pictures of these girls and fucking shit like that. Like, it's crazy. And there's a YouTuber who went over that in his video to catch a Kick predator. And that YouTuber is something about chickens. And I really like his content and I really enjoy it, so I will be linking his To Catch a Kick Predator video down below this episode of Devil Devin 360 News Nightly. And I will also be linking his second episode because while I haven't watched it yet, I plan to. And we'll talk about it in the next episode of this podcast. But as of now, we only have information on the one episode, so let's talk about that for a minute, because there's this one Kick streamer who was getting like 14 to 15-year-old girls to say they were 18 and then flash him. And he had a category in his Discord server. And again, something about chickens went over this in his video, where his fans could go see the pictures of the girl that he had just taken. And these girls never even knew he was live streaming. They never even knew he was live streaming. They thought he was just on there probably just doing his own thing and, getting girls to flash him like a lot of guys do when they go on Omi TV and they're just alone and doing shit like that. But lo and behold, these girls are underage and he is getting them to show their privates and stuff to him. It was nuts. And I'm watching this video and my jaw's dropping at like several different segments in that video. And at the end of that video, something about chickens even says, dude, why are you doing this? There are plenty of other things you could be doing. Why did you choose this specific thing? But thankfully, that streamer has since been banned off of Kick. And yeah, but sometimes live streaming is just a nightmare. Because if you're a game live streamer, you got to figure out what game you're going to play, or, figure out. Yeah, you got to like figure out what game you're going to play, and then figure out which, like, if you have like multiple monitors, figure out which fucking monitor you want it on, and then, it's hard enough. It's hard enough to do that, but, you know, it's, it's crazy, man. But anyway, off the Twitch subject, I want to do a quick little intermission here to congratulate Commander K Studios on 1,000 subscribers. And as he is one of my good friends and I make videos with him often, not too often, I've only made a few videos with him here and there, but Commander K Studios, good job. And I hope some of those people come flooding over to me to check out my content too. Maybe you can egg them on to come over here. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Um, but yeah, the live streaming world is just fucking crazy. It's, yeah. But let's talk about Omi TV for a second because it is a weird place. Like, a lot of these people are just like, hey, what are you doing? You want to get nasty? But when Omegle used to be around, you used to just be scrolling through Omegle and you'd see a dick left and right. There was no escaping the dicks on there. I have had when it I have had few good conversations on old Omegle without the next 30 seconds being filled with a whole lot of penis. And I don't understand this. Do guys just say, I'm gonna find somewhere I can go and jerk off so that a little girl might be scrolling by and can see my penis? Oh, I know. Omegle is a great site to do that. Let's do it. Why not? Guy clicks on Omegle, takes his pants down, and all of a sudden he's got his dick flailing everywhere while he's trying to scout out for women and little girls. I don't know. But these fucking people on Omegle are perverted, and I hate every single one of you who have ever done that on Omegle. And frankly, if you're exposing yourself on a site where children mainly visit, then you should be in prison. Yeah. If you're on a site where children and teens and young adults regularly frequent, you should be in prison for showing your dick on there. You really should. Anyway, off of that subject, let's talk about gas station bathrooms for a minute. Now I know that's a strange subject, but some of them are just horrendously dirty. Like especially at big ass truck stops, where you go into the bathroom and some trucker left his massive log in the shitter, and you're like, what the fuck? Like I didn't need this today. I was just coming in here to, maybe change the oil on my truck and then walk out for the next few minutes. I didn't expect there to be, another guy's shit in this toilet before I sat down. So now I gotta go find another stall. It's like trying to find parking at a fucking movie theater on opening night of a new movie. It's impossible. because there are going to be a lot of fans of the previous movies. If it's like another add-on to a franchise, there are going to be fans there who are already flooding the theater hoping to see that movie. And then it's like, it's horrible to find parking and shit like that. But, again, we're talking about truck stop bathrooms and stuff because, some, again, there are times where I've had to literally try and hover sit above a toilet just because it was so disgusting to me. I'm like, what the fuck? How could people just desecrate a toilet like this? Like, seriously, how can somebody walk into a bathroom, sit down on a toilet, have explosive diarrhea, and then just walk out 15 minutes later like nothing happened? That has got to be some sort of fucking miracle because I don't understand who could do that. You gotta be like a fucking shitgician or something. And if you have the ability to magically enhance your shit to get it to float down the drain, then you are some sort of fucking wizard. Because I don't understand your goal. I don't understand what you're trying to prove. But yeah, you'd have to be some sort of like Harry Potter type person to even be able to shit fluently like that. Like, there's gotta be something wrong with your bowels. But the worst part is, right? Here's the thing. When you walk into a small gas station, and not only doesn't have stalls, but it has a locked door, but the lock is broken. Like you walk into the gas station, like okay, let's make up an event right now. You walk into the gas station and you look at the cashier like, "Hey, you got a bathroom in this place?" The cashier's like, "Yeah, it's down the hall." You get down the hall, you open the bathroom door. 15 minutes later, a big, hairy white man comes in there, just fresh out of his semi truck, and you're like, "Excuse me, I was using this, and how did you unlock the door?" And then you can hear the cashier yell, "Oh, I forgot to mention the bathroom door don't lock." And then you just sit there and you say to yourself, "Well, why the fuck didn't you tell me that before I sat down on the shitter? You should have fucking told me that before I sat down here to take a massive dump." Anyway, that's enough shit jokes. Let's move on and talk about cars for a second because man, these days there are a lot of cars on the road, and I mean it's a good way to get around, but people should just learn to walk more. Because yeah, so what? Trump might be back in the White House and he might be trying to, lower inflation or essentially do what I like to call deflation. He's basically trying to deflate heavy gas prices and shit like that, but we all know it's really never gonna happen. We already know that, America is still gonna fucking prices are still gonna be higher than holy hell. Like I the last couple of days I haven't seen a change gas price. Like I looked at the sign on my local Maverick. You want to know what the price for the fucking unleaded was? Well, I think it was actually down to $3.07. But before that, it was like 3.27, $3.27 a gallon. Lo and behold, my mom fills up her Jeep, and it costs like 60 something dollars just to fill the fucker up. I'm looking at the gas thing. I'm like, holy shit, why does it cost so much to fill up your goddamn car? You're spending more on gas than you are on groceries. No, I'm just kidding. Because we usually spend $500 to $600 on groceries. So if my mom was spending more on gas than she was on groceries, she'd be spending well over $500 on gas if she was spending more on gas than she was groceries. But otherwise, let's talk about let's talk about the homeless for a minute. Because, you see a man sitting on the side of the road, and he's holding a sign that says we'll work for money. So why not let him work for you or do something for you and pay him for his time, you know? Or maybe just hand him like $10 to just show some gratitude. I remember this one time, right? Me and my family were still living in Elko, Nevada around this time, and this guy, he pulls around in a grocery store parking lot in a nice red car. He gets out, he throws on like this camouflage jacket, or maybe it was military fatigues, I don't fucking know. But he puts on this camouflage jacket, this tattered up camouflage jacket, picks up a sign out of his trunk, and then stands on the corner. My mom then proceeds to pull up next to him and say, "You're a fucking liar. I just saw you get out of that car right there. You're a fucking liar. I'm gonna come up and stand next to you with a sign that says, 'This guy's a fucking liar.' Then I'm gonna tell him that that's your red car that you just got out of." And not only did some people have their windows down so they heard that whole thing, but the guy just stood there for the rest of the day. Like, I bet he stood there for the rest of the day, even though my mom had just said all that to him. And he was probably waiting, too. He was probably waiting, like, where is this bitch? I thought she was gonna stand next to me with a sign that said, "I'm a fucking liar." Whatever. I guess she's the liar. In reality, I think that's something my mom would have done if she would have had the time and she just wanted to screw someone over. I feel like that's something my mom would do if she just had the free time and she just wanted to say, I just want to screw with this person and, I just want to make their day even worse than it already was 15 minutes ago. But, anyway, let's talk about camping. Because, camping is fun, but it's also tough to do. You want to know why? Because you have to drive out to wherever the hell you want to camp, you have to set up your campsite, and then at night, when you want to have a nice fire, you got to go looking for firewood, even though you probably could have bought something from the 50 stores with wood bundles outside that you passed by while going out there. Like, if you have a pickup truck, you should have some fucking space for some spare wood. But then you don't decide to pick up the wood. You're just like, fuck it, I'll pick it up later. I don't have a life. I don't have something. You could easily just go and pick up that wood. I don't understand. Like, do you just want to empty out your trunk first before picking it up? Or do you know you have the space, but you just don't want to get your shit dirty? Because once you set up your tent and stuff, and you place the bag down next to it when you're done, your shit's already pretty much getting dirty. Because you're laying on dirt, essentially. Like, if you're. I know tents have, like, this tart material floor, but, like, still. If you're camping with just a sleeping bag, you are essentially laying on the ground. But if you're camping with like a cot or something, then you're pretty good. You're pretty well off, I'd say. But yeah, just never. All I'm saying is never go on a camping trip and forget to bring wood. At least go drop by a store while you're on your way out there and you're close to where you want to go. Pick up a bundle of wood and camp. Don't do anything else until you have done that. And always make sure you have a gun with you when you go camping. Because you never know what in the fuck could be out there. There could be a crazy guy, tripping off of meth. There could be a bear, there could be a coyote. Hell, there can even be a mountain man who eats humans, who dared to tread on his land or something, you know? Mwahahaha. No, but, you know, there's possibilities of that shit, you know? There's possibilities of shit like that happening. Oh, and I'm sorry, but if you notice my ghost face mask above me isn't hung up right now, it's because it's with the cosplay over here on the dresser, and I intended to wear the cosplay again for a short or something, but then I got my phone taken away and never really got to do the video or short I was gonna do. But, you know, that's why I just wanted to tell you that's why the mask wasn't, you know, hung up back there like it usually is. But I'll get it back up over there soon enough. Otherwise, um, you know, happy December. It's December 4th. So we are getting fairly close to Christmas, and I cannot wait. How psyched are you little demons for Christmas? Because I know I am. In fact, let me know if I should add a little Santa hat to my guy. Like, let me know if I should make a. Let me know if I should make a Devil Devin 360 profile picture where the little devil on my picture is wearing a cowboy, or not a cowboy hat, but a Christmas hat, a Santa hat, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But yeah, let's talk about safe off-roading because not many people know how to off-road safely. There are a lot of idiots who go out there like rednecks who are like, "Oh yeah, let's take our trucks off-road and go do some shit." And then, half the time there are also those people that don't even get prepared and they're like, "Oh, well, I don't know what to do to get prepared." Well, you probably should have asked somebody before you went out in the first place. There should have been something in your head that said you probably need to go ask somebody what to do before you go out and, out into the wilderness and near and completely fuck yourself. You know what I mean? Like, there should have been something that clicked in your noggin that said, oh shit, I'm just now realizing that this might not have been a good idea. I am just realizing that I probably should have prepared. But no, you're a redneck and you do whatever the fuck you want to do because you don't understand how to safely off road. When you go off roading, here's some of the essentials that you need: tow ropes for helping to pull somebody out. A winch would be preferable. I'd prefer to use a winch at any point when I'm four-bying. Because using a winch is the obvious thing to do. Along with actually having some extra, like, rope and stuff to tie to the back of your, like, if you have a strong bumper, like, trailer hitch, you could easily tie, like, a tow rope to that or something and then just, have somebody carefully pull you out. That way your trailer hitch doesn't completely fucking get pulled out and go through the other guy's back window and smash him in the back of the head or nothing. Don't want that to happen. And there've actually been a few. Even my stepdad told me that people have died from mishandling winches. Because what I've seen is if you don't hook a winch on right, it will fling off and hit you, and it'll come back toward you and hit you in the fucking face. And then you're dead. Because there is a winch hook through your head. And is there surviving getting impaled with a winch hook? I wouldn't know. Because I have never been hit in the head, nor have I ever handled a winch hook. But something about it tells me that if I get hit in the head with it, I'm fucked. But yeah, and you also need to have like another thing you need to have if you're going off roading is a good rig, something with a good suspension, good tires, good everything, something that can actually make it through where you want to go, and be able to make it back out. Like, if you're going on, like, a tough, rocky trail, then you want something that can make it through there. You want, like, some nice rock crawling tires or something on your rig. And if you're going 4x, you also want a good size lift. Like, you don't want nothing too high or too low. You want something that kind of meets in the middle. You're going to need something that kind of meets in the middle so that you have, like, that perfect stance so that you know what your rig is capable of and what it's not. Because in my mind, if you know what your rig is capable of, like what its strengths are, then you're golden. But if you don't know what a rig's strengths and weaknesses are, then you could easily fuck something up. Like, you could easily try and hit something, roll it over if you don't know that it can't make it up that, or, like, if it couldn't make it up, or, like, if there was a big rock and you wanted to crawl over and you didn't know whether your rig could do it or not, so you just said something like, oh, fuck it, I'll do it anyway. And you try to do it, and your rig just immediately says, oh shit, and then bounces up and back, and it goes back. You're hurting. Your buddies around you were like, oh shit, I wonder if he's dead or if he's alive. And lo and behold, you're the dumbass because, you didn't even attempt to think first. Like, you didn't think, can my rig make it up this? Or will it just fail? And, so you need to know your off-road rig's strengths and weaknesses. And, in my mind, you need a good navigation system in that thing. Like, if you have an off-road rig with a good-sized lift, good-sized tires, you know, a GPS system in it, because that's what I would do. If I had an off-road rig, here's what I would do. I'd set it up with a nice lift, some good-sized tires, and a GPS system. That way, I knew I could easily get a route out from where I was. And that way I can know the area I'm in a lot better too. Because if I know the area I'm in a lot better, then I know what I need to do if, per se, my rig gets stuck in a mud hole, or maybe it just, maybe I accidentally rock it up and roll it over. But with rock crawlers, it's so easy to rock them up, roll them over, and then just get, like, if you have 4 other dudes with you, you can just, like, push it back over, and you're good. But if you're alone and you're rock crawling and you wreck it, you could probably still push it back over, no problem, and keep going, but I don't know. But all I'm saying is have a good setup. Have a good off-roading setup. Winch, first of all, if you're going to do like a small pickup truck, think about what you want first. If you want a Ford Ranger, a Chevy S10, a Chevy C10, a fucking Honda Ridgeline, one of those Ford Ranger looking Mazdas, maybe even a small Toyota, like an old school Tacoma or maybe an old school Helix, you know. And there are SUVs you can use too. You can use anything from a Chevy Tahoe to a Jeep Grand Cherokee. You know, My personal favorite SUVs that I like with lift kits and stuff on them are Chevy Suburbans, Cadillac Escalades, and Chevy Tahoes, and you know. I also like certain Jeeps. Like my favorite Jeep body style has to be an XJ because I love the way they look. I love the way XJs look. I love the body style. I love, everything about it. I just love that square body style of an old school Jeep Cherokee. Another one I like is the WJ because I kind of also like that more rounded and, you know, rounded off body style, but I like XJs a lot more than I like WJs. But anyway, let's get off the subject of off-roading and talk a little bit about other podcasts because I have listened to other podcasts. I have listened to Distractable, Bill Burr's Monday Morning Podcast, um, Bad Friends, um, I've listened to a lot of good podcasts before I started my own because I wanted to get some inspiration, I wanted to be inspired before starting my own podcast. I'm like, fuck it, I'll watch some other ones and get inspired and then make my own. And here I am talking to you guys now, talking to you about different subjects, giving you some advice on shit. And hey, it's winter, everything's frosting up outside, and we might get some snow soon, you never know. We might start getting snow soon, and this year I hope it's a good deep snow. Because if it is a good deep snow this year, then there's a possibility I will be able to build a snow fort. But if there ain't deep snow this year, then I can pretty much kiss my snow fort idea goodbye. But I want it to be a good deep snow. And I want you guys to tell me, do you want a good deep snow? Or do you want it to be a fairly light snow, but still have it enough to where it's a white Christmas? Like, let me know, do you want heavy or light snow? Because I want heavy snow so that it's deep and I can build a snow fort. But if you prefer light snow where you can just build a simple snowman, then that's you. I I can't really stop you from having that. So, but Mother Nature makes the decisions on how much snow she drops. But anyway, um, yeah. Let's talk about the woods for a second. Because, the woods are creepy. You find creepy abandoned houses out there, find fucking animals that want to eat your ass out there. But in my mind, the ambience and sounds that come from the woods are just creepy. Like the owls hooting in the trees or something at night, or fucking a stick cracking a mile away from you, or maybe, even just the howl of a wolf scares the shit out of me whenever I'm in the middle of woods camping with my family. Because I remember when I was camping with my mom, I'm just like up looking around. I can hear several different animal noises. I can hear coyotes going, "How, how!" I can hear fucking wolves howling at the moon going, "How!" I can hear a fucking strange ass bird, and the woods are just scary, man. The woods are a scary place, and you know that's why I would never want to be lost out in the woods. I would never want to find myself lost in the woods in a survival situation. If I wanted to find myself anywhere in a survival situation, it would be an area with trees and stuff, but it wouldn't be a wooded area. I'd want it to be more of like a valley or something like a valley area, but that still had nice trees and greenery, so that I could still gather up wood and stuff that I would need to make a fire, and you know, I'd probably try and find a fresh water river and shit too, and you know, just like in real survival. situations, plane crashes and shit, when there are survivors and they have to survive for a long period of time, to the point where they probably have to start eating each other. That's how the Donner Party did it. All the Donner Party did was just start eating each other and eating. Every time one of them died, the dead person would be eaten. Every time. Until eventually all of them were dead. Yeah, there has been situations of shit like that happening. And sometimes I like to think about, like, what if there was a world-ending apocalypse? Like, what would everybody be doing? Would every gun owner be, getting their firearms ready to go to war and, getting ready to just go ballistic and shit? Would they be like getting into bomb shelters and shit, trying to, seek out shelter from the impending threat? I think I know what most religious people would be doing. They ought to be praying to God that they wouldn't die. But if you're staying in one space, like in a house like this, during a fucking apocalypse, then you're dead. But if you are staying in an underground bomb shelter where you know you are going to be safe, then you should be fine. You know, it's that's why I kind of like natural disaster movies, because you kind of get to see how people would do that shit in real life, what they would gather, what they would do. I also like apocalypse movies like Resident Evil and stuff, like what people are doing in apocalyptic situations. Like, you know what? Leave a comment for this below too. What are you gonna do in a fucking situation? In a fucking, apocalypse I can't speak. In a fucking apocalypse situation where you don't know what to do, where you're freaking out, where you're trying to figure out what to do, but it's just impossible. Or it's just impossible to be like, oh, what the fuck am I gonna do? I don't have time. Like if it's a situation where you have time to think and you have time to get where you need to go and be where you need to be, then get there and be where you need to be. Don't waste time in an apocalypse situation ever. Do not waste time, because if you waste time in an apocalypse situation, you're dead. You know what I mean? You're fucking dead, and they're you know. Here's what I'm doing in an apocalypse situation. If an apocalypse was to ever take place, I'd be grabbing my firearms. I'd be grabbing my firearms and whatever explosives I could find. I'd be grabbing propane tanks to use as explosives, like to throw in and shoot at a big group of, like, mutated creatures or whatever would be in that apocalypse situation. And people were like just outright killing each other to try and get all the supplies they needed. I'd be heading to hospitals to see how many people were already there, see if I could gather up any medicine for myself to heal myself and be able to keep going. Grab some bandages, some stitches, some fucking, you know, um, bacitracin to clean out wounds. And, you know, there's also another self defense weapon in a hospital or in laboratories that nobody knows that they could use, and it is called acid. Dude, you could use corrosive acid to fucking do some damage to people in an apocalyptic situation. You could fucking throw it at somebody and watch them just ah! If it's an apocalypse, though, I don't condone doing that. I seriously do not condone throwing acid on somebody just to watch them go ah! If it was an apocalypse situation, yeah, I'd condone it. Because we're talking about what if there was an apocalypse, you know? What could you do to stay safe in an apocalypse without dying? Because you know that either way, you're dead. So you gotta figure out a way to, like, stay safe and keep your supplies. Like, if you already have, like, medicine, weapons, stuff that will keep you safe and help you to survive, then keep that. Unless you're doing trading with other people in the apocalypse situation. Like my roommate explained to me, if if you're in an apocalypse situation, you want to be trading weapons to other people and shit. Because if you keep hogging weapons, other people will just kill you. Like if you approach a group, right, and you have like two hatchets, three pistols, and like 14 knives, and you're not sharing your weapons or ammo with the group, they're just gonna kill you and take it for themselves. You know, that's what's gonna happen in an apocalypse. They're just gonna kill you and take your shit. That's what they're gonna do. People. I feel like in an apocalypse situation, people would just be killing each other left and right to just find anything. Like, it'd be, oh, you have this, give me pop. Oh, you have this, I want that. Bang, bang. Oh, take a look at that guy. He has a whole shitload of meat on him. Bam, bam, bam. You know, what I'm saying is, I want to protect myself in a fucking apocalypse. I don't want nobody thinking they can just try and come and take my shit. I will have like three different guns on me. Well, like two. Yeah, four actually. I'll have two different pistols and two different rifles. Or just two different forms of long gun, like maybe a shotgun and a fucking AR-15, or a rifle a rifle and a fucking AK or something. Something that I know that I could just go in a apocalypse situation. Because if I'm in a deadly situation or an apocalypse type situation, I want to be able to defend myself. I'm not just gonna be sitting there on the sidelines just watching people die, being like, nothing bad's happening here. I'm gonna be within the fight going, I ain't gonna be stopping for nothing. If you want to try and take my shit, then you better not approach my camp, because I'm gonna be having armed guards out front of that bitch. I'm gonna be having armed guards just sitting there waiting on you. I'm gonna have them sitting there waiting on you. They're just gonna be waiting on you, and then when you approach, toom, 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 you'll just have gun. You'll be like, oh fuck, once you approach my camp, and then you'll be running, because then you won't know what the fuck hit you. Like two big guys just stormed out of the building with guns drawn, and they're shooting at you, and then you're wondering what the fuck, because you didn't know I had those type of forces on me. You didn't know I had that shit. You didn't know that what I was capable of. I have a whole entire camp. I have people. You will be dead. But let's move on from apocalypse situations and talk about, talk about the future. You know, what does the future hold for any of us? Does it hold another pandemic like the COVID pandemic? Does it hold a fucking, does it, is there, is there a light at the end of the tunnel in the future? Or are we going to be suffering through another pandemic that keeps us in our houses again? Because for a short time, back in like March of 2023, like people were like, "Oh, the COVID-19 is making its way back. everybody's gonna have COVID-19 and now everybody's gonna die again. But COVID-19 was actually starting to slow down, and it's probably still slowing down progressively because there have been less and less cases reported of COVID-19. There have been less cases reported of COVID-19 than there have been of murder. There have been a lot more cases, but back in 2020, there were high amounts of COVID-19 cases being reported because that was from the beginning of 2020 to the end of 2020. It was nothing but, oh, COVID cases are rising. More people are getting sick. Everybody start freaking out and, buying up all the toilet paper in Walmart. What the fuck you need that much toilet paper for? How many asses are you wiping? I mean, every time in 2021 when we were allowed to go out of our houses to go to the store and get the essential items we needed, dude, we'd be looking in the toilet paper aisle. Every fucking roll of toilet paper would be gone. There wouldn't even be a roll left on the shelf. Same with paper towels. You'd look at the paper towels, you'd be like, holy fuck, there are no paper towels on this shelf. Yeah, that's supermarkets in 2020 for you. You're looking at the shelves being like, God damn, there's nothing on these. Meanwhile, the government's focusing on the people getting sick and that are currently passing away at high rates. While, while us civilians are focused on getting our bounty and Charmin, these other motherfuckers and the government are focused on the high number of COVID cases and the people dying left and right because, you know, it's a fucking nightmare. And, there are a lot of stupid people out there, man. A lot of stupid people. A lot of it. Just a whole hell of a lot of stupid. But the dumbest thing to me, right? Here's the dumbest thing to me about 2020 and COVID-19. The fact that for a whole year you could not step out of your house. So Halloween in 2020 was fucked. Christmas in 2020 was fucked because you couldn't go to the store and buy presents for your children and shit. I mean, unless, of course, you were online shopping. Which, for some reason, for this year's Christmas, my mom has been on a fucking online shopping kick. Going to fucking Temu and Amazon, eBay, you know, Wayfair, fucking, what else is there? Etsy. Looking for anything she could find, and then buying that shit. Every fucking day I open my front door and there's a package out there. I'm like, what the fuck? I understand Christmas is coming up, but you don't need to be ordering this much shit. Like, pretty soon that Christmas tree is just going to be covered in presents. No, I'm only joking, but, like, seriously. You don't need to order, like, $250,000 worth of packages just to please your kids on Christmas. My God. Ugh. I, 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 I kind of don't like police. There are two reasons I don't like police. Number one is when they pull you over, because it just wastes your time, and there are better things they can be doing. Like, if you're going, like, a little bit over the speed limit, who cares if you're going, like, 10 miles over the speed limit? Why pull me over? I ain't even going that fast in the first place. You're just looking for a reason to fuck me over. That's really all you're doing. You're just looking for a reason to piss me the fuck off and let me watch as you just celebrate the fact that you might have gotten an easy arrest. You know, you're celebrating the fact that you got to write out a ticket tonight and that you had to waste my time just because you wanted to write me up for going at least 6 miles over the speed limit. Yeah, I was going 1 extra mile. I know it's legal to go over the fucking, to go like, you know, 5 miles over the speed limit, but then 10 miles over the speed limit for passing. Wanna know what my mom does? She goes 20 miles over the speed limit when passing somebody, and 10 miles over the speed limit normally. Uh, she likes to get places quick. She doesn't fuck around, man. She does, every time on the road, it's, get the fuck out of my way, dumbass. I don't want to have to deal with your shit today. I'll knock you the fuck out. That's my mom behind the wheel. Get out of my way, dumbass. I don't want to have to deal with your shit today. You know, it's, or it's just, you know, hang on a second here. Hang on a second. Because you know what? Another thing is my mom is just crazy on the road in general. Because when people piss her off on the road or do something that pisses her off, or they know that they are intentionally being an asshole, my mom will go nuts on him. She'll be like, I'll kill you. I'll do this. I'll do that. I'll fuck you up. I'll beat the. I'll. And if it's a fat person, man, she really goes off on him. She'll go, I'll beat the 12 pounds of fat off of your fucking ass and make you lose weight faster. Sometimes I think the shit my mom says on the road is funny, you know. There are certain things you can disagree with my mom saying all day, but most of the shit I find funny, you know. Most of the shit I also find to be very threatening because I'm looking at my mom after she threatens somebody. I'm like, kick her ass, instead of like, Mom, goddamn, you shouldn't be saying that. Like, you need some anger management classes or something. I can't help you. I'm cheering my mom on, hoping she whoops somebody's ass instead of telling her she doesn't need to be saying the shit she's saying. I am rooting for my mom to keep saying this shit. You know, I'm like, keep saying this shit, Mom. Beat her ass, kick her ass. You know, that's you know, I enjoy it though. It's funny. It's not needed, but it's fucking funny, you know. It's worth it. It's worth it to see my mom, you know, be a Karen sometimes. Uh let's talk about porta potties for a minute. I know we talked about gas station bathrooms and a different subject, but this one's about porta potties. And specifically, who the fuck would want to clean out a porta potty for a living? I wouldn't want to do that. I would not want to scrape the last dude's piss and shit off of my bathroom floor. Like if some guy just left a big log on my floor, on my bathroom floor, yeah, sure, I could easily clean that up. Like like I could easily just clean that up with toilet paper and drop it in the toilet. But you're expecting, but if I'm being paid to clean out a porta potty, I'm quitting that job immediately. Like hell no, I ain't going in there just to suck somebody's shit out of the toilet bowl and then scrub it out with a long brush, only to have to fill that shitter back up for the next group of people that are going to go in there and fucking destroy that thing. You know what I mean? Like, why the fuck would you want to do that? Like, you are basically just saying, hey, I took this job so I can keep sniffing people's shit. I don't need any other fucking job in the world. Hell, I could have became an accountant, but you know, I'm I'm cleaning up people's shit for a living. You know what? That is one job that I can say is actually shit. Cleaning out porta potties. That is one job that is actually shit. This one guy on TikTok does it willingly. I think his TikTok name is like the Potty Pro or something. He cleans out porta potties for TikTok every week. I don't think it's every week, but I think it's like he goes on his shift and he cleans out a porta potty for a video, for a TikTok. Like, why would you be like, oh, this is a great idea on TikTok? Let's film myself cleaning up somebody's shit in a fucking porta potty for 2 minutes just to see if I can get some sort of fucking clout, you know? Yeah, let me put up a video of me on TikTok cleaning up my dog shit in my backyard just to see if that gets over 100,000 views, maybe 200,000 likes later on down the line. Yeah, let me film a video of me cleaning a porta potty, basically having to try not to vomit when I open the door there in the first place. You know how you try to train yourself not to look down the hole of a porta potty when you first open the door, but then you step in and you end up looking down the hole and see the mess left down there from the previous 20 people that used it before you? Yeah. That's how these workers have to be feeling, knowing that they constantly have to look down that hole. But that's another thing though, when you're going into a porta potty and you really don't want to puke, so you're like, don't look down the hole, don't look down the hole, don't look down the hole. You turn around, you look down the hole, and then you're like, oh fuck, I looked down the hole. Like there's got to be like millions of people in the world who have done that. They're like, don't look down the hole, don't look down the hole, don't look down the hole. They turn around, ah fuck, I looked down the hole. Now I can see the other person's Thanksgiving dinner down there. Okay, we're at a rock concert. Let's okay. We're at a rock concert. I have to use the shitter, right? This isn't an actual story. I'm just coming up with something. So, guy's at a rock concert. He has to use the shitter, right? He goes in there. He starts saying to himself, he starts saying the ancient mantra that you always say when you enter a porta potty. Don't look down the hole. 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 He slowly turns around. First thing he does is glance down. Then he goes, ah, shit, I looked down the hole. No pun intended. Because you don't want to look down that fucking hole. What's down there is disgusting. There's probably a 2-day old pile of shit down there that now you have just looked at and are adding to. Like, seriously, you are adding to a 2-week old pile of shit that was probably previously there last time. And you're just kind of forced to stare at it now. You're just kind of like, man, I gotta add to that. That's just what you're sitting there thinking, ah, fuck. Well, now I gotta add to that. While there's a guy on the outside of the porta potty banging, while the other 15 are taken up by other drunks over at that concert, being like, "Open the fucking door!" You know what I mean? Because they all want to get in there to take a shit, but you're dogging it, so they have to just be banging on the outside. Open the door! Open this motherfucking door! I need to take a shit right now. I just had a burrito from that one stand over there, and it ain't sitting right. You know? Oh man, porta potties are just disgusting in any sense. You know? You don't want to use a porta potty. You seriously don't. But when you're forced to, you're like, ah, fuck. And I can understand why people even want to puke in those when they're drunk. Like, you walk into one and you puke in there. Well, why do you have your mouth so close to the log somebody just left in there 2 days ago? Like, seriously, somebody just took a shit in that stall 2 days ago and you're puking in there drunk because, what, you had nowhere else to puke? You couldn't just, turn around and puke on the other side of it? You had to puke directly in it? Like you couldn't just go puke behind it. No, you had to lean your head down and take a look at the other guy's shit there and wonder what's wrong with your life, you know? But that's enough porta potty talk. Let's talk about let's talk about YouTube for a minute, because YouTube is a great site, but it has its drawbacks, you know what I mean? One day you might be making a YouTube video and it's all, kittens and sunflowers. And you say one wrong thing in that video and YouTube jumps down your throat. They're like, ah, fuck you, you know? You're not going to say that in the video and desecrate our website. Your video's automatically banned. There are some people on YouTube who deserve to be banned. You know? There are those people on YouTube who deserve to be banned. But that is the end of this episode of Devil Devin 360 News Nightly. Please feel free to leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed tonight's episode. And follow me on Twitch and Spotify for more content just like this. I will see you guys in the next episode of Devil Devin 360 News Nightly. Hang loose, little demons.